All right, guys, what's up? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So Splitgate just released an official video going over kind of the weekly recap #1 highlights, which is basically going to be something that they're going to be doing on a regular basis, going over in depth, a little bit more detail in terms of what this next update obviously is going to entail with the start of Chapter 2. And like I said, it's something that they're going to continue to do over time. So it was really cool that we got a trailer as well as this. But before we get started with the details, first I'm going to go over the highlights, and then we're going to break them down bit by bit, including their bits and pieces of their video. However, one thing I want to say right off the bat is that if there are any devs listening to this video in particular, I have been in the comment section on numerous occasions. I have been requested to basically speak up for them and basically request that you guys do something about them playing on American servers, because they're Europeans playing on American servers, because the people on the other side of the pond, so to speak, are really getting frustrated in being matched with American servers a majority of the time, if not all the time. So if there's something that could be done about that to where they could match within people within closer to their own region, within Europe or whatnot, that would be great. I think I even had somebody from Australia say something similar, if I'm not mistaken. But if there could be something that could be done about that sooner rather than later, I think they would greatly appreciate it. So just wanted to pass the message from them on to you guys in case you were not aware of this. So with that being said, guys, let's go straight into the outline of what the highlights are going to be. And I am going to also be putting in timestamps for this video in particular. So if there's anything specific that you want to know about, you can just go right in there. But first, I'm going to go and highlight exactly what everything that they're going to talk about, and then we're going to go over them bit by bit. So first, they go over the Seabrasque wall changes, because that was very controversial within the community. They describe the reasons for it and everything like that. Then they talk about the wall hacks after killing an enemy in BR being removed. Then they go over ranked and BR performance optimization as well. So they go into very specifics in terms of how you level up and how you level down and how the whole system works and stuff like that in a very basic, but yeah, very understandable way that definitely gave us more details than the trailer did, as well as performance optimizations on the BR side. So you can expect a lot less stuttering and a lot more smooth of a BR experience for those of you guys that are playing BR. Next, they go into details about the mastery camo challenges and the camos themselves as well. And then next, for those of you guys that are fans of the mode Takedown, they have a ranked takedown simulation that they're going to be looking for feedback on, because ranked is going to be something that is going to continuously evolve. Okay, so and they've heard your feedback on ranked takedown, and that is something that they're definitely going to be adding in there. However, they're kind of doing a simulation so that way they can get it right. So there's something in there for you guys. And another thing that is going to be a big win in the community, specifically for people that are fans of Splitgate 1, is they've been requesting more portal walls. So for the 4th of July, they're actually having a 4th of July event to where, and I think it's going to go beyond, obviously, 4th of July because it's an event. So my assumption is it's going to last 10 days, kind of like the other events. They're going to have a mode to where there's going to be more portal walls, very similar to Splitgate 1 in terms of where they are, how many they are, and how they work as well. So that is something that they've definitely heard from the community as well. And they're going to want feedback on that in terms of when they add it back in again to make sure they get it right. So that way, everything that they do add in or take away or adjust is spot on, just like the community wants. And of course, at the very end, they basically just reiterate that they please keep the feedback coming. I know I'm going to be doing my part on here. And as always, in traditional fashion on this channel, what it's definitely turned to be is to get you guys involved in as many of the videos as possible, if not all of them, right? Because with every video, especially lately, it's all been about community feedback in order to make this game better and to make this game grow and to last for years and years to come, because that is the ultimate goal. We all love the game. We all want to see it to succeed. So without further ado, let's go on bit by bit by bringing in pieces and bits of their video over to here. So that way you guys can see the highlights in particular. And again, as always, there's going to be timestamps down below. And then after that, I'm going to finish off and let's get started with Seabrasque, and then we'll be back.
Last week with a few things, I'd say the one that tore the community apart in very dramatic fashion was this controversial Seabrasque wall change. Well, controversial to some, but I do want to give a little background on why we've chosen to either completely obliterate this class and make it unplayable or make it more fair.
Hopefully more fair. Obviously, we're always listening to feedback. We're looking at, what are players using? What are they gravitating towards? So fear not. If we have obliterated, it will change quickly. But I can talk about the motivation of it. So We have had a very interesting dilemma with Seabrasque, where Seabrasque seems to be like by far the most overpowered class for the top players, and by far the least overpowered or the most underpowered class for most players. And so, one of the ideas we had is, it's sort of frustrating when you flank somebody and they just take a step forward by 2 feet and now they're protected by the wall again. That's not fun to fight against. It's also not fun when I outplay you, I flank you, and it's like, well, that didn't do anything because he just took a step forward and he's just kind of hugging that wall. And so our thought was, we can kind of preserve for most players where it's just that one way, for 90% of use cases, it's still a one way, you're shooting, you get behind it. But for that top level play, you don't get the trolls of just kind of hugging the wall back and forth. That's just impossible to fight against. So that's the thinking. We're going to keep monitoring the feedback, right? Like it might change. And maybe the solution is we keep it like this, but we give it more health or make it, a shorter cooldown. There's all sorts of knobs we can adjust. But we're keeping a close eye on it.
All right, now we're going to be talking about the wall hacks and about BR.
Back and forth on this one from players who play the BR mostly, but we've gotten rid of the wall hacks when you kill an enemy. So now it's no longer going to reveal the rest of their team through the walls. It's only going to be on the radar. So there's still an element of helping you track down the rest of the squad, but not literally revealing them, their health, quite as much information.
Honestly, I'm a huge fan of this change. Like I've been playing the last couple of days. I'm like, wow, the pacing is so much better. I don't know why we didn't think of this earlier. The intent of seeing enemies through walls originally was, I mean, exactly that of like you kill someone, it's very easy to hide. It's a massive map. Like, how am I going to possibly chase down the rest of your team when I know you're going to respawn? But I think, like you said, the radar gets us sort of the best of both worlds, where it gives the player that ability to hunt down the rest of the team. But it doesn't make it, cheap. It doesn't make it annoying where it's just like, okay, you killed I'm just constantly visible through walls all the time because I have one dead teammate, right? So I think it's a healthy change. It's helped the pacing a lot from my point of view. From what I've seen so far, community seems to be really, really happy with the change. But you'll have to keep telling us.
All right, now they go over ranked and battle royale performance optimizations.
You want to talk about ranked a little bit first?
Totally. I mean, I think, like you said, these are the two biggest things. And there's a lot more to this update. Actually, in particular, there are some major performance optimizations for Battle Royale. But in terms of ranked, we wanted to walk before we ran, right? So there's a reason that ranked didn't come out immediately. It's because we really wanted to get the balancing in a good place. We know how rage-inducing it can be to like go up against a busted meta or whatever it is, right? So we wanted to get in a good place. We feel like things are pretty well balanced now. Of course, it's always going to change, and as soon as there's rank on the line, it's going to change a lot. But we feel like the balance is in a good place, and so we're starting with ranked arena. And obviously, we've seen a lot of requests for ranked everything, but we want to start small, work out the kinks. There's totally going to be iteration on this. This is kind of V1 of what our ranked system is. And I'll say, coming from Splitgate 1, really the biggest difference is you don't just play your placement matches and then get placed and now you're in elo hell, which is such a common feeling from Splitgate 1 and other shooters. So the way that this ranking system works is you start at bronze and you climb your way up. Kind of brings back to me that old school like Halo 2, Halo 3, 1 to 50 ranking system where you got to start at the bottom and grind your way to the top. That's what we're going for here. So it's ultra competitive. It's all about wins, or I guess mostly about wins. We do take into account your individual performance a little bit, but the vast majority of this is, hey, it's ranked. It's all about competition. Who's going to win? Who's going to climb to the top? And then, of course, as you climb through those ranks at the top, you do have that top 100. So you can really show off if you are top 100 in the world, which I know I will be grinding and trying to hold on to top 100. Which maybe if I get ahead of the curve, I'll get it early on, but I probably won't be able to hold on to it very long. But
well, not with that attitude.
Yeah.
Just one thing too on the note of performance versus the win. I know people will probably talk about that one quite, at length, 'cause it's kind of a controversial thing of like how much agency should be on you versus the team. I would say I'm pretty happy with where it's falling for us now, because I do think it's important, especially for our arena modes that are objective based, that you don't feel like
Totally.
there's ever an incentive to just like farm kills the whole time, and then that's like what's going to drive it for me. Like even if we lose, I'm able to like get
Yeah,
around
and
a
it's
loss.
more
It's really trying to get you focused
totally.
on the win, the team play.
Yeah, and the way it works is if you win, you go up. If you lose, you go down.
Yeah.
It's more just individual performance might nudge you a little bit more up or a little bit more down, right? So if you're the best player on your team and you're carrying and you still lose, we're going to punish you a little bit less. And if you're winning and you dominate, like we're going to reward you a little bit more. But ultimately, if you win, you're going up. If you lose, you're going down.
And then now we've got the Mastery Camo Challenge details.
Cool. And then the other one coming is weapon mastery challenges. So, we're saying mastery challenges is the way you're unlocking these skins, these camos. You want to talk about these a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, this is something we actually had intended to have earlier, to be honest, and just with everything going on in beta, it did get pushed back a little bit. But we're really, really excited to have finally mastery challenges. I know I've been looking for something to grind for. And I think that's something where we probably missed the mark, to be honest, of like launching with just not enough earnable cosmetics for free, right? So mastery challenges, there's carbon, there's gold, and then there's Proelium, the most sought after. Carbon, I think you get by leveling up each gun all the way.
Yes.
Actually, I'm blanking on the exact rules. I know after
okay,
that.
I have it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of people are going to log in and they're going to instantly have a bunch of the carbon ones, because that is unlocked by finishing all the unlocks for a weapon. So if I'm looking at the cadence and I've unlocked every attachment, everything there is to do along that path, I have carbon. Once you reach that first tier of carbon, that's where you unlock a mastery challenge for that gun. So you'd see a specific challenge that's set by category. So every assault rifle is going to have the same mastery challenge. Every burst rifle has the same one. But so that could be get a certain amount of double kills. It could be get a certain number of precision kills, headshot kills. I love the heavy pistol challenge of having to get a certain number of kills while you're crouching or sliding. That's really fun. So it's going to pop up that for you. Once you finish that mastery challenge, you've now gone from gold. You've unlocked you went from carbon, and then you've unlocked the gold camo for that one. And then the final one, the Proelium ones, those are a little bit more exciting for how you have to do it, because you can't just go straight from that gold challenge to instantly get Proelium. You have to kind of establish your mastery of a faction's weapon set as a whole. So you have to first get to gold camos on 6 different weapons.
Oh, that's
for
right.
that faction.
That's right.
So if we're using arrows, it's also 5 other ones in addition to the cadence. Then once you have those 6 golds, then you unlock the Proelium challenges, where you can get to that final tier by completing that. So that's, I think, a fun way of doing it. You're not just purely grinding. It does incentivize you to still mix up a little bit more and play some variety. So I think they look very cool. And
I think they're sick.
Coming.
And that's what I was going to say. Just like with ranked, like this is step 1. Our philosophy is we want to start getting things out based on your feedback as soon as possible, as sort of an MVP version 1. And then we iterate on it, right? Like we could spend months developing the most complicated, perfect mastery challenges system, and then you're still going to tell us how to make it better, because we need the community's feedback to guide us. And so our plan here is, this is version 1. It's got 6 skins, gives you plenty of reason to grind, but we're going to keep adding to it over years and years to come. So exciting though.
Okay, now in this part, we've got the ranked takedown simulation.
I was going to say, we got a new simulation map as well.
Yes.
We wanted to, we felt bad for all the takedown fans who were asking for ranked takedown. Bear with us, like I said, starting with ranked arena, then we'll work out the kinks. But we do have something for you takedown fans. So we've got simulation, I believe it is simulation anomaly. It's probably like our most chaotic, hectic simulation map yet, I would say. I'm a huge fan of it. It's got some verticality too. But I think fans are going to be big fans of this map.
And of course, for Splitgate 1 fans, we got the More Portal Walls / 4th of July event.
Note on that, but is there anything specific you're looking forward to for events in the near future?
But I'm going to give one specific thing
go for it.
on the 4th of July event, because I think it actually it's not just about, I think the event is great,
Yeah.
to be clear, but one of the things that we hear you loud and clear on is we want more portal walls. And so we figured for this 4th of July event, that's kind of the perfect opportunity for us to test this theory and see if this is trending in the right direction. So we've got a sort of 4th of July themed version of Bypass, the map. But while we did that beauty pass and that reskin, we actually also added a number of additional portal walls. We added some launch portals, some giant portals up in the sky, more floor portals. So all the things that you loved from the first game, we've really done a big effort to make this map sort of a preview of hopefully what's more to come. But you'll have to let us know if you like the changes. Did we go too far? Did we add too much? Or do we need to add more? But I'm excited to hear feedback on that. And I know the level design team would love to hear feedback on that as well.
All right, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. So what did you guys think of all these updates? I really want to know down in the comment section below, because again, with every single update that the devs continue to release, basically we want to have continued feedback even on their updates, because again, a game that is literally being made by the community for the community with that kind of mindset in mind, we want to be as vocal and simultaneously as respectful as possible. So if there's anything that you would like to be added to this in terms of something maybe for next time, or if these were big W's, let them know, because we can't just let them know whenever they're missing something. We also need to give feedback when they're doing something right. So that way they can continue to do that, and as well as to get motivated, right? Because if we continue just telling them on things that need to be improved, that's just kind of like, giving them the hammer. You got to pay attention to the things they're doing well as well, right? We can't just be one-sided. We got to give credit where credit is due, as well as give criticism where it's due. So let's keep the balance rolling, guys. So anyway, as always, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. I'm looking forward to your feedback down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next